Hi there. This is Mark and my cat Tuna, and doing the reading today from The Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. And this is for July 6th. I angled this because I was hoping that Tuna would. Here we go. You gonna stay? Oh, she wants to be on the floor. July 6th, and the topic is You Are Not Afraid of Anything. No. It's not possible to give a common answer for all the different kinds of fears, but the basic reason for fear is the lack of knowledge of our true self, which is imperishable, immortal. If that is realized, there is no fear of death. And once you get over the fear of death, you are not afraid of anything. I always hear the top two things that people are afraid of are the fear of death and the fear of public speaking. And somewhere I remember hearing that the fear of public speaking was actually number one. Number two was the fear of death. And I actually know for me, I'm not a big fan of public speaking. It's something that has changed a bit over time, but generally I'm not a huge fan of it. And it's in part why I'm choosing to do these readings. Now, granted, this isn't exactly like public speaking because I can't see you, but it's this idea of putting myself out there and getting a little more comfortable with it and recognizing there's really not much I need to be afraid of. Just need to be myself. And I feel like that process is helping to shift some other things. And, it's not until actually doing that, taking that step, that leap of faith, that other things start to become more clear to me about what they truly are and that they're not things to be afraid of. But I like hearing that Swami Satchidananda is just relating this understanding that when we understand our true self, the capital S self, that it is imperishable and immortal. There is this constant within us that was never born and never dies. It's just always part of our nature, and that it's actually our true nature, and it's what actually propels us to have this experience in the world. It's almost like it's needing to either work something out in this lifetime to play and enjoy, that there is a possibility of having these senses, these sensations. It's somewhat aligned with how Tantra Yoga recognizes that we have the body, we have these senses, and that it's to enjoy and to learn from this seeing, touching, smelling, tasting, feeling, hearing, sense, that we actually can understand who we truly are. And when we do it in a way that's moving towards um, our clear nature rather than our disturbed or distracted nature, which tends to be available to us at all times, easy to get distracted, which is certainly something I notice in myself. And when I can spend time maintaining a practice of meditation and yoga, I notice that becomes a little bit less. But there are certain things I tend to just lose a little track of at times. Um, Maybe some of them are kind of important to some people, but I just I don't know. Sometimes I don't get so worked up about them because I know it's just part of this flow and things work out, and or they don't, and you move on. And it seems that that becomes more of a practice for me of learning how to um, be in that kind of rhythm or that flow where I'm no longer, or I'm not as attached to things going a certain way. So many things haven't gone the way that I thought, that over time, happening again and again, it starts to be like this knocking at the door of the truth, that's saying, hey, you're attached to thinking life is supposed to go a certain way. You've been given messages that have told you life is supposed to be and supposed to unfold a certain way. But what if you just really listen to what's going on right now? Listen to what is happening in your life, who is in your life, how your life is unfolding, and recognize that there are messages there. Sometimes I've experienced the messages were to make a change. Sometimes the message was to hang on. It's to be able to work through and recognize this whole spectrum of emotions, spectrum of thoughts and feelings, and to learn to let go of identifying so heavily with all of them as to who I am, but to be open to this notion that there is something greater operating here, and I sometimes just call that divine mystery. I call it the great unknown, because I'm not sure what's supposed to happen. I have a sense, but so many things haven't gone different ways than I would have thought. I'm choosing now to be more open, and in that choice, it feels that I'm not as jolted when things go differently, or I get surprised. And it's not always perfect, but the more I practice that, I notice that helps to develop a more peaceful way of being in the world, and that little signs of that here and there, that really helps me. So I don't know if I'll get to that point where I'm not afraid of anything, but at least it's something to understand that the great yogis and sages recognized this, so I can look ahead to something and know I'm moving in a certain direction by the way I practice. So I hope that was useful, and thanks for hanging in there with this process of reading for 365 days. I'm past the halfway point, so it'll continue on through this year, and deepening into the golden present. All right, thank you.